Well, all right. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy 7/7 portal. If you know and you're tuning in live on this day, it's Monday. I don't know about you, but after a holiday weekend, it's always fun to get started. So for me, it's like casual Monday. Today I had a big event. Thank you to those of you who attended my Health and Wealth Freedom event. We had major shifts and tears were shed and community came. There was joy, there was laughter, there was fun, there was play, and there was grounded commitment to changing your life. And so I'm just super grateful and in awe of all of you. If you're new to my channel, my name is Magdalena Grace. And if you would like to stay in tune and in touch, if you see value in what you experience today, please like and subscribe. And of course, comment below and share with your community. I am an abundance alchemist and I work with conscious entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, and change makers. I'm creating a movement for change makers and conscious entrepreneurs that really want to up level in the second half of 2025 and get ready for 2026, which has been dubbed the biggest year of this spiritual awakening. And ultimately, I can't do it by myself, and I want to create community, tribe, and a movement. And so super excited to have another event coming up. Just some quick announcements, and then we'll dive into the reading for the day. July 25th, I'm having a Healthy and Wealthy and Wise Abundance Alchemist Planning Summit. So getting all of your goals on paper for health, wealth, and relationships for the rest of the year. And the next day, I actually have a Kundalini workshop. So you could potentially stay overnight, have an experience, and be a part of this movement with me and really helping up-level your client's life, your family's life, your relationships, your kids, and really being the change you want to see in the world. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about the astrology of what's happening. Then I'm going to do my runes reading. And so if you are new to my channel, what I always encourage is to light a candle, have some incense burning if you'd like, turn it into your own little ritual and ceremony space. And then, of course, if you are like me, you always just want to clear the energy, clear the clutter. So we're going to do a little activation and reading, just knowing that today, just diving right in now, that today's the 7/7 portal. So even if you catch this on Tuesday or Wednesday before the full moon, which is Thursday, July 10th, this is a very potent time. Like even as I sit here, I can feel the light codes coming down into my central nervous system. And this portal is opening up the potential for you if you're conscious enough. And even if you're not conscious, I'll explain how this might manifest for you. It's activating dormant DNA. We have the 7/7 portal, the 8/8 portal, and the 9/9 portal. And ladies, I'm having a women's retreat in San Diego for the 9/9 portal. We're going to help you build your business like a queen, the queen that you are, the deserving, the abundance, all of it. So these portals are huge. And so if you aren't aware of what's happening in these light codes that are coming in, especially since this is also part of the Sirius portal. Sirius is like a sun, a star. It's shining down on us and it's activating the dormant DNA that once that activates, it can bring in new spiritual gifts. It can bring in new psychic gifts. This is why it's also powerful to do this runes reading today. I waited to do it today for that reason. And we have a full moon on Thursday, which just helps you release whatever shadows may be coming up, because when these light codes come in and activates the dormant DNA, guess what? For better or for worse, shadows are going to come up. Fear, shame, guilt, abandonment, stress, scarcity, lack, all of it. And if you don't have tools to help you move through this, just know that I'm here for you. You can hop on a one-time abundance alchemy session so you can alchemize shadow into light, fear into love, and then also learn more about my tribe and my movement that I'm building, because no one succeeds alone. And if you don't have help when these activations come through, you can lean heavily on addictions, you can be stressed, you can honestly feel like you're going crazy. And you got to be able to function, right? Especially if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business. You don't just get the 9 to 5, quote unquote, steady paycheck, which isn't always so steady, right? It can really, really impede your progress in your sales, in your health, and in your relationships. So just be aware that if that happens for you this week, and we're going to do the reading next after I finish up a little bit more of the astrology, just know that you're not alone and I am here. So please reach out to me. I actually have a new email address. It's info@magdalenagrace.com. Or if you want, I have my free abundance alchemy session at magdalenagrace.com. You can go and book that and see if there's ways that I can help you transmute these intense energies and help you better understand the activations and what gifts are coming through for you. So 77 is an angel number. It's also, I was born in 1977, so I'm a little biased. It's a very powerful number. 7 by itself is 7 chakras. You know, we have 7 continents. It's a very intuitive number. It was Prince's favorite number, if you know his song 7. There's a lot of spiritual connection to divinity. You know, our 7th chakra is the crown. And when you add 7 plus 7, you get 14. When you add 1 plus 4, you get 5. 5 is a number all about change and growth. And the angel number 77 is about spiritual awakening and a strong connection to your intuition and inner wisdom. And again, this portal kicks off and prepares us for Lionsgate, which is 8/8. That's in August. And then, of course, 9/9 in September. So we have these 3 powerful months that are all in summer. Summer is about expansion, abundance. What is it that you want to call into your life? So that's what's happening today. We'll see again what the reading has to say. And then it's preparing us, opening us up to releasing on the full moon. This is a full moon in Capricorn, and that's according to the Western astrology. I also get into the Vedic, but I'm not going to talk about that here. If you're in my tribe and community, you'll get more of the Vedic ancient yogic wisdom, and they have a different calendar. So they're actually not in Capricorn. They're focused on Sagittarius. But talking about the full moon on Thursday, Capricorn is about structure. Capricorn is about logic. It's really about systems. So what are you releasing in your life? Maybe you don't like structure. If you're an entrepreneur, that can happen, especially if you're more in your feminine as opposed to your masculine. I'll speak to that first. You know, maybe you're too in the flow and maybe you need to release that so you can embrace more structure in your life in order to be successful. Structure is helping all of us in health, wealth, and relationships. That's what I talk about here on my channel, Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. If you don't have structure, which is the masculine support system to protect your feminine flow, then you're all over the place. You're loosey-goosey. You're probably not making a whole lot of money. Or you're over giving. You could be falling into fawning or people pleasing or codependent behaviors. You don't stand in your truth and in your power. Maybe that's something that you want to let go of. On the flip side of that, maybe you're too overcommitted to structure. Capricorn can be over analytical. This is the more wounded masculine component. Maybe you're too rigid, too structured. And that was my part of my story of healing, of starting there for me anyway. And then if things don't happen or go your way, or you can become hypervigilant, controlling, you can get angry, kind of explosive against some of those other trauma responses. You can be a workaholic, another trauma response. And again, all those responses are just symptoms of your shadows you have repressed. So this is a great week. I want to talk about a couple more things that are happening this week. This is a great week to work on your shadows because of a full moon. But also today, Uranus is going into Gemini. And that's I'm not going to get into the weeds of all of it. All of the astrologers are talking about it. They're kind of freaking out about it because it's a big shift, because this actual Uranus and Gemini conjunction hasn't happened since World War II. And in World War II, obviously, there was a lot of strife and war and communication issues and fighting and all of that kind of stuff. That kind of energy is what they predict, they being a lot of the other astrologers, is going to happen. Like this week could be a really, really big week for what some are even and this is not me, but some are even predicting like more of a World War III kind of energy. And this is like going on for the next 7 years. So if you aren't in your highest zone of genius, if you aren't radiating your light, which requires shadow work, you could fall prey to warring energies. And Gemini is specifically the mind. Gemini also has an alter ego. Gemini is known as the twins. So you could be forced to face your shadows this week. Let's be honest, that's a very big Gemini energy. Gemini is also air in the mind, so you could get caught up in warring thoughts. You could get caught up in warring conversations. You may all of a sudden have an ending of a relationship. That's the kind of energy that this is bringing. So what you could do is look at your life and ask yourself also, where do I feel that I have outgrown in relationships or structure or behaviors? Where do I feel caged in my life? We just had a freedom weekend. It was all connected to 4th of July, but it was also connected to the astrology. This is what I really get passionate about: as above, so below, as within, so without. So this freedom energy is still, again, when you think of war and freedom, people are fighting for freedom in war. So where within yourself do you feel caged or at war with yourself? These are all the questions that I would ask you to think about and journal for this week. Not only the full moon on Thursday in Capricorn, again, thinking about structure, and then this Gemini energy. We're still in Gemini season. Actually, sorry, forgive me, we're not in Gemini season, but with Uranus being in Gemini, that energy is still very much a part of what's happening. And then Saturday, we go into retrograde with Saturn, which is all about rules. So this week is a lot about rules and war and trying to break out. Where are you not open? Maybe in your life, where do you have too many rules? And it's either this or that, all or nothing. Thinking, how can you maybe dissolve that this week? Is there a third option? Is there a fourth option? Are you closed your mind too much to it's either this or that, and you're not looking at all of the picture? Take your blinders off, get out of the cage, really just allow yourself to find your own freedom. Declare it, speak it. Gemini is about communication. It's ruled by Mercury. So you have a lot of energies this week to have a big breakthrough, a huge transformation. So that's what's going on this week. Let's go ahead and dive in now. I'm going to call in Spirit, call in Woden and Freya, calling in the energy of the runes and see what the runes have to say. I also do a bonus card reading with the Divine Feminine, so calling in that energy since it is Mary Magdalene month, if you will. It's her feast day. So I will, wow, okay, beautiful. Wow, I love how the runes are always in alignment with astrology. Oh, beautiful. Excellent, okay. As I said last week, there's no such thing as a positive or negative reading. However, when I have all of the runes in upright, I get kind of excited, because then at the end of the day, we have at least a little more clarity, that is a little bit more in that abundant state. We don't have any reverse runes today, so this is exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and actually, before I show you the runes, let's just take a couple of deep inhales and exhales. So go ahead, I'll do them with you, just so I'm also grounded as I do this reading. You can close your eyes if you want, otherwise just go ahead and take an inhale into the nose, into the belly. Go ahead, inhale. And exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Dropping into your heart and being ready to receive. Now, if you want, you can open your eyes. I'll show you the first rune. So see what comes through for you on this first rune. So this is Ansu's. This is Woden's rune. If you don't know who he is, he's the All-Father. He's the one who found the runes and actually almost died to receive them, because he was all about wisdom. So what this is telling me, especially with Uranus and Gemini, you could say that Gemini, being ruled by Mercury, that is Woden. That is his energy, is about communication, but it's specifically because of this energy of this week, it's communication with your higher self and your divine guidance. opening your channel to receive messages and to be an open channel, especially with the 7/7 portal, receiving the energies and the activation of the dormant DNA that's going to impact you for the next several months, by the way. This is the energy kind of also transitioning from last week, taking whatever you learned from the past week or the past 30 days since the last full moon. And how are you shifting in your communication? Are you speaking differently? Are you writing differently? Are you receiving divine guidance and acting upon it? Or are you still kind of not listening, not communicating, not taking risks, not speaking your truth? So again, this is a great one for today since Uranus is going into Gemini energy, which is all about that communication. So receiving the messages that you're getting, trusting your intuition, and maybe speaking your truth in a relationship, maybe speaking your truth to yourself. And again, getting ready for that full moon. What cage do you want to break out of? Maybe you've been holding back and not speaking your truth. This is your opportunity this week to do so. And with love, grace, and compassion, of course. So again, Ansu's, and now the second rune is Gebo. I'm going to show this to you first and see what comes through for you. I do encourage you, I don't know that I've done this before, but this goes without saying, you can draw the rune. So make sure, I'll actually show Ansu's again. I'll show them both, and I want you to draw the runes to the best of your ability. Here's Ansu's. So it's like, kind of like the letter F, but a little bit different. And Gabo is simply an X, like X marks the spot. And then I'll be toning later. So Gabo is about friendship and sacred exchange. It also can be about sacred sexuality. So if you're, having a relationship and summer love and you want to take it to the next level, this is a great time. Or maybe you aren't getting your needs met in relationships, and this is because of Uranus and Gemini. This is an opportunity to speak up, to be seen, be heard, and also a time to really, with the 7/7 portal, if there's any shadows that come through, where are you feeling unbalanced in a relationship? Gabo is all about relationships with others and that sacred exchange. So when I think about it with this week, and that's, really the full moon energy, and tapping into this is summer abundance. Yeah, just really communicating your needs, whether it's with a business partner, whether it's with a relationship, really taking time to set intentions around this full moon of letting go of the past. Maybe you didn't speak up. Maybe there is imbalance, and it's because you remember, as within, so without, you didn't ask for what you wanted. And you maybe you also need to clean up the air between someone. Maybe there's an issue coming up that in this shadowy energy of Uranus going into Gemini and leading us up into full moon, which is all about releasing, cutting, severing. Maybe you want to let go of some past painful relationships and start anew. And that's what this full moon is about, is helping you with that. So look outside to all of your relationships on this full moon and ask, where have I been taking advantage of, or where have I allowed people to take advantage of me? And or how can I take this next relationship to the next level, if there is a relationship in your life that you want to take to the next level. So here's the third and final rune. This is heading out of the full moon, which is on Thursday. Again, this is when you could do the ritual, or you could do the ritual today or tomorrow with the 7/7 portal. You can use it either way. You can do this ritual multiple times, actually, if you really wanted to take it up a notch. Here's the third and final one. And this is Awaz. A was. So again, draw it out. It's like the letter M. And this is a great follow-up to Gabo. Since Gabo is all about relationships, this is about progress and forward movement with partnership. So it literally in the historic Norse mythology, it also even represents a rider on a horse. So in some case, it could mean you're going to take a journey with a partner. It could also be a more spiritual journey of transcendence. I know I'm going to a retreat this weekend, so that actually really applies to me really, really well, of transcending some of my shadows and going to higher levels of consciousness, of my zone of genius, of my truth, which is what the world needs now of all of us. The world is forcing us to face our shadows, whether we like it or not, whether you understand the astrology or not, doesn't matter. Everyone is going through something right now. And so we need people, we need tribe, we need community. People mirror to us exactly what we need to let go of. And if we're not honest with ourselves and we don't take that journey and we don't work with other people, we're never going to grow. So it can be scary and daunting. That's why I think Gabo was the second rune. As we cut and sever and burn away with the full moon, which is one thing I forgot to mention. If you want to grab a piece of paper and pen, you can write down what it is that you want to let go. And if you have your, candle or a lighter, you can actually burn something. So again, in summary, and then I'm going to do the bonus card, and then we'll do the toning activation. Overall, this week is talking about communication, receiving that divine guidance, speaking your truth, asking for what you want, or just clearing the air with anyone in your life that's a love partner, relationship partner, business partner, possibly even taking it to the next level. Heading out of the full moon and heading into the next full moon or into the next week is about really taking those partnerships, taking those opportunities and partnership with yourself to the next level. Again, when we think of that horse and rider, you have a partner there that's literally helping support you and take you somewhere. So that could be a love partner, that could be a business partner, that could be hiring a mentor or a coach, someone like myself, joining a tribe, becoming more active and involved in a community so that you can rise above your limitations. Rise above what's holding you back. Again, Saturn going into retrograde, Saturn being about structure, essentially teamwork and discipline. I have a 88-day challenge coming up at the end of the month, going into Lionsgate, which is all about discipline of health, food, nutrition, movement, helping you get somewhere faster in a team, in a collaborative way. Maybe you're looking to join something that maybe a gym or a fitness group or something to help you so you're not feeling alone and isolated. The worst thing you could do right now is be isolating and not really connecting with other people. So where can you cut and sever old relationships this week with the full moon? And what can you become a part of? Or how can you find healthier partners or partnerships? That was the last rune. And here's our final bonus card reading. Calling in the Divine Mother of the Day. Ooh, all right. Amazing. So today I pulled Lala. She's the saint of spoken words. Again, I can't make this up. With Uranus going into Gemini this week, the full moon in Capricorn, every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. Every word I say becomes a prayer. So again, going back to the Ansu's rune, the first one, and Gemini being Mercury and communication, be really mindful of your spoken words this week is what I'm getting from this. Be really, really mindful. So here's her picture. If you also notice, she's naked. She is putting herself out there. She's not afraid. She's fearless in her communication and fearless in getting out there and sharing what she believes. So that's also, again, goes beautifully with the reading. If you have to have those raw, naked conversations this week, just be careful of what you say. Words create worlds, and this is what they say about Lala. Lala embodies the potency and power of our words to create our own reality. Lala, or Lala Shwari, was a Kashmiri mystic and poet who lived in the 14th century. She was married at the age of 12, but was extremely unhappy as a wife. She left her home at age 24 to take sannyasi, called renunciation. She became a Shaivite, a devotee of Shiva. Lala walked the streets naked, dancing and reciting her love poems to the divine. Again, this is also Woden's rune, Ansu's. He was all about poetry and words. She wore only the markings of her devotion to Shiva on her forehead. Lala is the creator of a mystical form of poetry called Vox, which means speech or voice. The verses of poetry that she spoke are considered the earliest compositions in the Kashmiri language. Her words reflect the spiritual truth of non-duality that she realized as a mystic. Above temple and below idol are one. So again, as above, so below. With her poetry, she found the unity in all things and the freedom that follows. I, Lala, entered through the door of the garden of my mind and saw Shiva and Shakti united into one, which is the feminine and the masculine. There I became immersed in the lake of nectar and died even while I was still alive. What can death do to me now? Kashmiri language is filled with her sayings. She is known as a prophetess, a saint, even an avatar. Although illiterate, she used the inherent power of her every word to transcend duality and enter a state of blissful union with the divine. So she was illiterate, so her poetry was all spoken. When your soul selects her card, words have the power to shift our reality or to continue to reinforce it. Louise Hay, founder of Hay House, turned to me during a dinner party, looked me right in the eyes, and declared, "Every word you say out loud is an affirmation." This is perhaps one of the most crucial spiritual lessons to remember. If we are not separate from the soul, and if the soul is not separate from the divine, then we have the power to co-create our life. Lala is the invitation to pay close attention to each word we say to ourselves within and to the words we say about ourselves to the people we love. So again, Gabo this week, those words we speak to our partners, both romantic and business, are key. She's the acknowledgement from the soul that our every sentence is a prayer. If we want more love, more light, more of that joy and freedom that expands our capacity to be present in the world, then Lala reminds us that we can become the author of our own reality right now, which also, I just want to remind you, it does require facing your shadows. We can speak our desires into being. Lala is the reminder that we are so powerful that changing the words we use to describe ourselves can change the trajectory of our lives. We can choose to focus our attention on each I am statement we say, and we can infuse our lives with the nectar that comes when we act on the truth that we are not separate from the divine. So the meditation that you can work with as I do the toning, what are the most powerful words for me to use frequently right now? Write that down. That's a journal prompt for you that you can do later too. What are the most powerful words for me to use frequently right now? I teach my clients to have core values and words that they speak every day. So this is a great reminder. And your intention, if you want to write this down, every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. I'll say that one more time and then we'll go into the toning. Every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. I know I needed to hear that today, so I hope that spoke to you. And you are the author of your own story this week, heading into the full moon and with Gemini and Gabo on your side. So I invite you now as I tone, we're going to meditate just for a few moments here. And then we're going to dive in to just burning it all away for the final part. So go ahead, close your eyes, take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Sit back and see what comes through from all that I just shared with you. Answers. Gebo. Answers. Go ahead, your left hand on your heart if it calls to you. Just taking a few more moments, eyes closed if they are closed. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. And if you wanted to, you could even hit the pause button now. I'm going to close it up here for sake of time. But what I want you to do, if anything came through at any time during my reading, during this little intonation short meditation, dropping in and ask yourself, what do you want to let go of and burn away this week with the full moon in Capricorn? Go ahead and write it down, having your candle handy. Maybe pick your top 3 things that go along with the potency of the reading, with the card pull. And then after you've written it, say thank you for your service. I oftentimes like to fold it and hold it in my hand, say thank you for all that you taught me. I release you now. I let you go on this full moon. And then burn it in the fire. If you do this, maybe with the 7/7 activation portal and on the full moon, I think it's great potency to do it both days, especially since Uranus is going to Gemini today. You can kick that off, or you could do this activation that we just did on the full moon, which is Thursday. I think in other parts of the world, it may even be Friday, July 11th. And when you close, burn out your candle with your fingers, say a prayer again. Every word you speak this week is going to be extra magical and extra potent. Be safe, be careful out there. This is a very potent time of warring energy, a shift for the next 7 years. And I wish you nothing but the best. The best is yet to come if you do the work. As above, so below, as within, so without. Be the change you want to see in the world. If there's anything I can do to help you, send me an email at info@magdalenagrace.com. And if you want to book your own private reading or attend one of my workshops or transformational retreats, I have many events coming up. Go to magdalenagrace.com and check out my events calendar or a complimentary one-time abundance alchemy session. Until next time, everyone, here's to your best health, your best wealth by trusting your best wisdom within. Bye-bye for now.
Subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Hire Magdalena for a runes reading or healing session by emailing support@microdosingforhealth.com.